But okay, now I want to get to some questions.
Okay.
That I've wanted to ask you for a while.
Okay.
When we ran into each other, I guess a couple years ago, we didn't have enough. I forgot what we talked. It was like so great to. I forgot what it might have been on. It was on one of those shows. But do you remember where did we run into each other?
It was something quick.
It was really quick, but we were talking. And I wanted to talk to you. So you're a child on a show, on a sitcom, which is always interesting. But you were a child on Roseanne, and I don't know if you've heard, but it was a famously volatile set. It was famous. It was like epically so. And what I was wondering was, what was your awareness of that?
Everything. I think that's the part that people misconceive about me, because I'm a generally positive guy.
Yeah.
I will forgive people their trespasses for the most part, as long as they do things the right way. But I was
By the way, Michael, that's New Testament, so let's keep it.
Yeah, I was super aware of everything. I think that, Danny, that's the thing people don't realize is I stayed at work late. I spent the night at certain people's houses and knew their background and their backstory. I would lay upstairs sometimes in building 3 when you guys were pitching jokes in the middle of the night where you could hear upstairs through the vents. Like, I knew, pardon for me for saying, but like, I knew who was sleeping with who and what relationships were happening and dynamics and fights and power struggles. I knew everything because part of it was I was so small I could go anywhere I wanted, and most people didn't pay attention because I was everybody's kind of like little brother, nephew,
sure,
in a way. And so, and I don't feel like, and you can tell me if you disagree, but I don't think most people didn't try to protect me from what I heard. I think people were very interested I was interested in what they did, and they were interested in my perception.
This is partly what I'm saying. And you don't have to comment, and we can edit out, but I do want to say this. You're right. People didn't protect you from it.
No, I was never protected.
But to me, that was a problem.
I agree. Well,
because when I would go to that stage and frankly, Roseanne would be going off or doing something like crazy inappropriate, I think, in front of a child, it really did bother me. Now, she's a genius. There's no doubt that she was a genius. And, at the time, there was volatility between her and John has been, thank God for John, but he was at the time, and he's so much mellower now, but at the time he could be a very imposing presence. Mm-hmm. And so you'd have those things going back and forth. And I felt like I really always had the sense, especially with you, was like, there's a child in here, guys.
Well, I was the one who never left. And so I was there the whole run. And I was super aware, and I spent a ton of time on the stage. And I wasn't afraid, and I never ran away. So if there was a conflict with, even didn't matter who it was, how big, what their clout was, I learned early on to stand my ground. And one of the things I think for me is, some of my coworkers now, the ones who worked with me back then, who now work on the Connors, a couple of them have said to me, "You're the reason I didn't let my kids go into the entertainment industry, because of all the things you saw and because of your experiences." And I think
similar.
Yeah. Unique for me is you get a choice. And I think what I did was I tried really hard to see the good in people and to learn from the things I never wanted to do. So as an adult, as a writer, as a guy who writes and now directs and wants to produce and do all these things, it made me uniquely aware of how things can kind of blow up or change in a hurry, and how to navigate that, and how to sometimes calm things ahead of time. It made me really good at reading the room and reading people and, playing through all of the stuff. And then also, people don't realize I was the PR guy. I did the majority of interviews. They sent me out on everything, especially after the national anthem thing, because I was smart, I was well-trained, and I was cute, so they could only beat on me so much before they started looking bad.
Well, they were hiding behind the baby. Don't shoot me.
It really was. And I took a lot of shots along the way for the show. But what I think it did was it really trained me well for what life is you're going to get challenged. And in this business in particular, I don't care how good you are, you're not always going to see where it's coming from, and you're not always going to be able to dodge everything.
What?
Yeah. As if you don't know.